Hello, everyone. Welcome to the Spicy Divorce Party Planner TV show. I'm your host, Spice, and today I have a very lovely and intelligent guest by the name of Alison Pym. Hi, Alison.
Hi, Spicy. Thanks for having me.
Oh, thanks for joining us. Can you tell everybody what city you're representing or where you're coming from?
Yeah, so I'm half French, half English, and so right now I'm in France, and so representing France, but here for the whole world.
Okay, beautiful. So I love having international guests. It's so exciting because we learn so much about different countries. Because right
I
now I'm in
know.
the U.S. I'm in California. Have you ever been to California?
I have, but in 2006,
Okay.
so a long time ago.
Oh, okay. That's wonderful. I wasn't sure if you've been here before. Okay, so you're familiar with Cali.
Yeah.
Okay, great. So let me tell everyone, Alison is a dating and love coach, correct?
Yes, absolutely.
Okay. Now, what made you decide to get into this field of work?
Well, a long story short, I was in real estate and lockdown everything. I kind of decided I hate real estate. I
Oh,
love people and I love love and I love helping people through these rough patches. And I realized that I had, tentative ear and that type of thing. So I thought I'm just going to go ahead with that.
okay. So how long have you been doing this?
1 year.
1 year. Okay. Do you think it's difficult to uh, be financially stable with this type of career? I know that kind of throws you off, but I was wondering.
No, well, it's you need to find your bearings at the beginning where what type of people you're aiming for and how you're going to make your mark type of thing. But no, I'm going well now. It's once you found a rhythm and like an audience and a voice, it goes really smoothly. The first couple of months isn't amazing, but then you find your rhythm.
Okay. I'm glad that you mentioned that you're in real estate because I know a lot of people and they always, say that that's a really good business to be in. So it's interesting to hear that you were not really satisfied with it.
Yeah, but then I think French real estate and American real estate are different, but it is from what I gather in the States as well, it is a shark tank.
Okay.
And if you get, I mean, in real estate, you either make a lot of money or no money at all. And
Oh.
a lot of money is for the sharks that are, go-getters and fighters and things like that. And I'm not a shark. I'm a people person.
I know I used to sell cars too, and it was cutthroat. And I was like, yeah, I don't think this is a field for me.
Yeah.
Well, that's good that at least you found something that you enjoy doing. At the end of the day, that's like what's the most important in being able to survive, right?
100%. 100%. And being happy doing it.
Yes, definitely. Okay, let me ask you some crazy questions.
Sure.
Oh, well, this one's not too crazy. What type of services do you offer?
So I offer I call it a 6-month journey where I help. So it's either single people or people just coming out of a relationship or in a relationship and unhappy about it. And it's a course of getting to a better place.
Okay.
And so it's a lot of listening, it's communication exercises, it's coaching methods, it's things like that to like just evolve. Usually people, they come and see me and they have some sort of objective of finding love or getting over a past relationship, and so I help them get to that.
Do you coach couples as well?
Yes, I coach couples, and there are two types of couples, whereas it's the couples that are wanting to end the relationship but in a healthy way, so just opening up the communication for that, or couples who just need to reignite the flame, who love each other but just are not romantically passionate anymore, and so it's helping them through that. And so it's a lot, so there are meditation methods, there is communication exercises, as I've said, all sorts of, yoga, sporting things, loads of different things.
Yeah, I was checking out your yoga and I found that pretty fascinating, all the different poses you do and how it helps you in different aspects of your life. So that's
Absolutely.
beautiful. Yeah, I'm like, I need to start taking some yoga. Do you have like videos that you suggest, or do you have any of your own videos that you create?
Yeah, so I've been having that little background voice of saying you should start your own yoga stuff. You should start your own yoga stuff. So in my one-on-one sessions, I can work through some yoga poses. I don't have any videos yet, but I'm working on it. And you asking the question is kind of like reinforcing that voice.
Sometimes the voice, I like the way you do it, and I like how you incorporate it in your Instagram.
Yeah.
Yeah, it
Thank you.
inspired me. I'm like, I need to do some yoga. I just like how you said, like, doing different poses, like, it brings kind of like new energy. I thought
Yeah,
that's pretty.
exactly. It helps because it's the seven chakras, and different poses will help with different type of energy systems and like objectives of like grounding yourself or getting yourself out there. And I work a lot with the heart chakra, so it's a lot of opening up and just feeling good.
Mhm.
And yeah, and I love incorporating yoga. I feel it's amazing.
Yeah, it looks really fun. I really need to get into it. So I would love to see your videos in the future.
Okay, I'll definitely have your voice in mind.
Yeah, definitely. I really want to see those. I mean, I need exercise in my life, and if it's making me a happier, healthier person, I mean,
Yoga
I
is the way to go. It is amazing. It's soft, but like it's deep strength, everything. It's perfect.
yeah, it looks like it's going to be a cool new activity to try.
Yeah.
Um, what can we do if we've repeatedly asked certain requests from our partner and they refuse to accommodate them?
So this question is a question that comes back often.
Okay.
And to this I say it depends on how you voiced it. Because the first tip that I say is that ask for something once and then just leave it. Because if you keep coming back to it, it becomes nagging, and people will want to do it even less. So if you really
Mm,
want something, just say it once and that's it. If you
mm,
feel that hasn't worked, I would just sit that person down and not be naggy about it, but say how that would make you feel.
mm,
Instead, for example, let's say you want to be given flowers. It's not, it could be very simple, and you say, "Can I have flowers? Can I have flowers? Oh, I really wish you could bring me flowers." Things like that. It sounds a bit silly, but if you sit your partner down and say, "Listen, if you brought me flowers, I would feel so loved, so appreciated. It makes my day so much bigger. You don't even have to buy them. You can just pick them somewhere or buy a single flower. It would make me feel loved and appreciated, and it would really just change the dynamic between us."
okay.
And really make sure that that's heard. And because usually it's just, "Can you buy me flowers? Can you buy me flowers?" And it's the same with, "Can you wash the car? Can you bring the dustbins out?" Things like that. It's if you sit the person down and say, "This is how it would make me feel,"
Hmm.
it's much harder to ignore.
Okay, I like that.
Yeah, but especially women. Some men do it, but especially women, we tend to end up saying it a lot because we're scared it's not going to happen, and it pushes people away.
Okay. Okay, that's a good way to look at it, or the good
Yeah.
way to approach it. What if you want to live with a partner and they make no efforts in this direction?
Well, funnily enough, I had a client like this. Just like, one of my first clients a few months ago, who was desperate to move in with her then partner, so they're now married and live
Mhm.
together. And there can be two situations where the partner doesn't really, it's not important for them, like they genuinely don't mind. And so if you want it to happen, then make it happen, and that partner will just go with the flow because for them it's not important. And it doesn't matter that it's important or not. If it's important to you and they are happy to go with the flow, then just they make it happen.
Mhm.
And for a lot of people it's difficult to understand, but if you can manage to grasp that, then it makes everything so much easier. It's kind of like eating healthy. The partner's like, "I don't care about eating healthy," but if you care, then just cook and the partner will go along with it. It's the same with
Mm.
living, which is difficult to grasp, but will go a long way if you do. But there is also the possibility that the partner doesn't want that to happen, and it's
Mhm.
the same. Then just sit down and talk about it. Why aren't you making this happen? Are you scared? Are where do you see us in 5 years or something?
Mhm.
And it makes stuff come up, and usually it diffuses the situation, and then it happens. And it's the second situation that happened with my client where they sat down and talked about it, and he said that he was worried that he was repeating the same thing as he was with his ex-wife. He was really stressed out about it, that she was going to fall out of love with him. And she was telling him the exact opposite, where her ex never wanted to, and that's what led to the breakup and things like that. And so they worked through it. And once everything was said, then it was fine, and they moved in together. Now they own a house together.
Okay. That's
So,
interesting.
yeah.
Okay, I like the way you approach different things.
I want your viewers to have as much information as possible.
Well, they need it on our show because
Yeah,
a lot of chaos for our viewers. A lot of divorces. What should
everything out of this.
Say that again?
They need to get everything they can out of this.
Yes, definitely. That's why we need a coach, because they're going the wrong way right now. What should a person do if they want to get married and their partner isn't making any steps in that direction?
Same. So marriage, so especially for divorced couples, you'll have a lot of people who are like really put off the idea of marriage. And so I've got to say, as a coach, I don't particularly believe in the institution of marriage.
Okay.
I feel like in France we have different types of contracts of, like, civil union, marriage, things like that, and they're all very different about protecting assets and things like that. The partner that wants to get married needs to understand why they want to get married. Is it because of romance? Is it because of tradition? Is it because they would feel safer like that? And there is no right or wrong answer. They just need to feel it in themselves. Or just, why do I want to get married? Would I feel loved? Would I feel safe? Is it a childhood dream? Things like that. And once that they've got that answer, they need to tell it to the partner.
Okay.
Because either the partner will hear it and say, okay, let's go, or they will find a solution to make the partner feel loved or secure or things like that without marriage. And they'll find a solution. Marriage isn't the make or break of all relationships.
Mm-hmm.
I understand that it's a big deal for a lot of people, but there are ways to feel safe and loved in a relationship that don't include marriage. But it's okay if it's a deal or no deal. And if you have to get married versus doesn't want to get married, then there's a bigger conversation to be had.
Okay.
But that's a small percentage of people.
Okay. Sounds good. Oh, how can you let a partner know that you seriously no longer want to be with them?
Oh no.
Well, just rip the Band-Aid off. I mean, again, we go back to is it what makes you want to break up? Is it, lack of love, lack of passion, things like that? But usually when you've come to that conclusion, you've probably thought of everything and tried all the other options. Then it is just sit the person down and say, I have respect and affection for you, but I feel like this relationship isn't going anywhere for either of us. And for both of us to be happy, I feel we need to end it. None of this, it's not me, it's not you, it's me. None of this, I've grown out. Just have the adult conversation of just, I feel like this can't go anywhere. And out of respect for our past relationship and affection for you, because you still have affection. Mm-hmm. I mean, if you're not breaking up violently, it's because you have affection and respect for your current partner. Then just say it respectfully. And it's not going to go well. I mean, the other person's probably going to be heartbroken, but it is just, a couple of sentences, rip the Band-Aid off and move on. There's no point in making a big show of it. It's tough on them, tough on you, tiring, too much drama.
Gotcha. Okay. That's a good way to approach that as well. What should you do if a partner refuses to exercise?
Well, that's an interesting question, because I was talking about it a lot this weekend, actually, when it comes to physical health.
Mm-hmm.
And so let's take away the extremes of, horribly active, over-dynamic people who just do it too much, and, morbidly obese people. Let's take away those extremes. If you want to exercise for health and just keeping, healthy and active and things like that, if your partner refuses to exercise, then I'd say that that's a problem. Mm-hmm. If they are being healthy in every other aspect, then great, and just leave it. But if you feel that they need it for their health, then it is a conversation to be had. And so calm communication is key, but you need to say it. Babe, I think we should start exercising together. I'm worried about your health. I'm worried about my own health. And I feel it's important for us to grow old together and grow healthy together. And it's an important conversation. And I feel that we shy away from it too much. Again, it's not going to the gym, an hour and a half every day. It's not, protein pack and things like that. It's just let's, once or twice a week, go out for a walk at least and build it up. But if it's for the health aspects, then definitely have a talk about it.
Okay, that's good. What can men wear to spice up their sex lives?
Wow. The list is long. The list is long. I should make a whole post about this, and I'll send it.
Yeah, you should. I'd love to see that one.
What men? I mean, it's okay. So, men. I'm gonna try and come up with like my mind is. First of all, have a clean cut beard. So either just clean shave, or just have it polished off if you do have a beard and a mustache. Just make sure that it looks nice, not just like you've woken up and it's all messy. Like good facial, either no facial hair or well-groomed facial hair goes a long way. And hair as well. And to look good, I mean, it depends on if you want to spice up proper uniform style, which I mean, I have yet to have met a woman who doesn't go wild for a good, uniform.
True.
But if you just want to make it look nice and go out on a date, I feel like a good, clean white shirt with a nice pair of jeans, just buttoned up to here, and just clean white shirt that's ironed, no creases. It is so sexy. It's so simple and goes such a long way. It's that little extra effort over a t-shirt that I feel goes a very long way. And not too much perfume or cologne. It puts everybody off. Clean.
Okay. That's true. If they have too much cologne, you can't breathe.
Yeah. You want
those cheap ones. I'm like, oh.
Oh yeah, and the ones that make their skin go all red. No, you want to, just out of the shower, clean facial hair, clean hair, nice white shirt. Or if you're feeling adventurous, you can have a black shirt, but just a one colored shirt.
Okay.
With just nice pair of jeans.
Okay, good. So, men, I hope you're listening to that.
Yeah. In the bedroom, get the uniform out.
Oh, what'd you say in the bedroom? What?
I mean, no, but I mean, if you want to, go out for a meal and then get things hot up, spiced up, then nice shirt and everything. But if you're in the bedroom already, get that police uniform out or fireman. Have fun.
Yeah, what woman doesn't like the policeman or the fireman? That's true. Wow. Oh, yeah, that is funny. The policeman or the fireman. Women love that.
I know.
Right. What advice do you have for someone going through a divorce or breakup?
Well, have a good support system.
True.
And that one or two, if you have a coach, then it's part of your support system, and your coach should, I'm definitely there for the people who are going through a breakup and, get these late night messages. But if you have a couple of friends, you don't need much, but friends or family members that will be behind you no matter what for at least 6 months, there's a time where you have to end the process, but you're allowed a good long while of just, bitching and moaning and just having a rough time with it. So having a good support system and people to talk to, don't bottle it up, definitely not, is a good way of going at it. And make sure that you keep the communication as polite as possible with your ex.
Okay.
Because if it becomes with divorce, it can become very nasty, but it makes things worse. Whereas if you just stay calm, it is difficult, but if you stay calm, it is worth it in the long run.
Okay. Sounds good. Uh, do you think it's healthy for people to stop dating for 10 years?
No.
I think that's horrible.
I guess I guess it depends on the reasoning behind it. But right now, I can't even think of something to that would be a good reason.
Yeah.
I mean, unless you've got some sort of health issue. If you are stopping yourself from dating because of any reason, it's unhealthy. I have posts about this, but human beings are beings of love, and that are meant to be loved and to love. And be single for a few months, have fun, go out there for sure. But forcing yourself to not date because you've convinced yourself that the opposite sex or the desired sex is toxic, then it's toxic for you in the long run. So take a break for sure, but you know, don't stop yourself from going out, and go back out as soon as possible and have fun. And it's you rebuild. A lot of people forget, but you can rebuild beautifully, actually.
Okay. I'm glad to hear that because like the generations before, like my mom's generation and my friends' parents, and most of them after they were divorced or they separated from their husband or their partner, they're just like threw in the towel. They never dated again after that. I'm like, that's
That's
horrible.
such a shame. That's
It
such a
is.
shame.
It really
Because,
is.
and especially as, I mean, these generation, there are good men out there. Like, I know that we love complaining about, men and women and blah, 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 but there are good people out there. And my aunt, who's in her 50s, um, lost her husband a few years ago,
Oh no. Hmm.
God rest his soul.
Hmm.
She's just met someone, and it's very, very cute relationship blossoming. And I don't know if we're going to talk about falling in love yet. That's for her to say. But it's beautiful, and she's in her 50s. She's got 3 grown kids, and it's great. She got power to her for putting herself out there.
Yeah, I like to see that because my aunt too, she doesn't date either. She hasn't dated for a long time either. I'm like, forget
Such a
that.
shame. Such
It
a shame.
is like, come on now, people. I would not want to be lonely for the rest of my life.
Yeah.
Oh, this is a question from one of our male viewers.
Interesting.
How important is oral sex to a relationship? And when in your relationship should you do this? Is it too soon on a first date? Of course, it's for me.
So I hesitate. There are two ways of looking at this. So sex is important.
Mhm.
It's important to be on the same wavelength.
Mhm.
And oral sex is part of it, and a lot of people enjoy it a lot. I feel that if you want to give it, there is no right or wrong time. I mean, if you want to give oral sex, just don't block yourself. But
Mhm.
if you want to receive it, I wouldn't ask for it on the first couple of dates. I wouldn't ask for it until you've built trust in the relationship and in the process. Some men will love, giving oral sex. Some women will also love it, and some people will hate it or won't be fans of it, or will only do it for a relationship. So if you want to give oral sex, then just don't stop yourself. Have fun. It'll be appreciated. But if you want, I mean, unless you're terrible at it, but another conversation. If your viewers want to know more about that, we can have another talk about that.
Yeah, they
But
might have
if you
to
want
come back and ask for assistance with that. That's
yeah, we
funny.
can have a whole thing about sexuality.
Hmm.
Um, but if you want to receive it, I'd say wait until you've had sex a few times and you've established like a strong basis, and then just talk about it, and just don't ask for it, but say, how do you feel about giving oral sex?
Hmm.
Can we have a conversation about it? Make sure that they don't feel pressured into it. But if it's important for you, then it's important that you don't give up on it, because you don't want to feel resentment.
Okay, gotcha. Uh, what do you think about different ages and compatibility?
Um, well, again, another very interesting topic. Somebody on a Facebook group was saying that she was dating somebody 14 years older. So I once dated somebody 27 years older than I was.
Uh-huh.
And I've also dated somebody who was 4 years younger than I am. I want to say the cliche phrase that age is just a number.
Hmm.
But you want to make sure, especially when it comes to kids and having kids, that you are on the same wavelength, because that's the only thing, if women and men in like stages in life, if they've already got kids or things like that, it's going to be very, very important. But if you are on the same wavelength about having kids, then age is just a number. Obviously, you want to be dating somebody in the legal age and everything. But if
Yeah.
it's somebody who's really, no, it has to be said.
Yes. Yes, true. Say that again.
Yeah, keep it legal. But if
Mhm.
if you fall in love with somebody who's 30 years older than you, then, and you've got 10-20 years left with them, then it's 10-20 years of just happiness instead of not having them. So I wouldn't stop myself from dating somebody way older. The reason why it didn't work out is because he and I were not on the same wavelength for a lot of things, and not a lot to do with his age actually. But yeah, I would, age is just a number. So if you're on the same wavelength for kids, then everything else you can get over.
Okay. Yeah, I agree with you. Dated people younger and older. So
Yeah.
yeah, I think it just depends on the person.
Yeah, I agree.
What are your thoughts on polygamy?
It is an interesting topic. I think we can have a huge conversation about that, so I'll keep it concise. I
Mhm.
feel that there is a tiny portion of people for who it is genuine,
Mhm.
and I feel there are exceptions where they make it work wonderfully, but I feel like it's a tiny, tiny, tiny portion of the population.
Mhm.
Um, I wouldn't recommend it. I feel like, a two-person relationship is trouble enough as it is, and a lot of work. So adding people to that just, multiplies the problems. So as a general sort of guideline, I'd say that for me, it's not a possibility. But there are exceptions, and I've seen them work. But I've also seen a lot of people who were swearing up and down that they were the exception, and they weren't.
Mm.
So, if you've got love to give somebody else, maybe you can give that love to your current partner because maybe they need it and they're not expressing it. So,
Mhm.
explore giving more love to your partner.
Okay.
Same, if you need to receive more love, talk to your partner about it and say, I need this and this from you, before going to the polygamy route.
Gotcha. Okay. That makes sense. Because I know a lot of people, they always think like, oh, I want to have like multiple partners and stuff like that. Okay, that's interesting. Yeah, I think it causes a lot of issues too.
Yeah, I mean, the whole, because having sex, having multiple partners, it can seem very attractive, and I can understand the appeal. Um, but it is also called making love, and as soon as there are emotions and feelings and you know external factors, then it is not just having sex. It is making love and giving yourself to that person and just having that passionate time. And we've all seen the films. We all know that one person that went from being a sex friend to a lover and things like that. Sex is not just sex if it goes on for a while, and so it can become a bit messy. So and there can be many, many ways of doing it, but I feel that if you've got love to give and you want to receive more love, then you've got a partner, and make that work with the partner and make your relationship grow rather than spreading it all over.
Okay. Okay, I get you. Do you think if a couple breaks up, can they get back together and have a successful relationship?
Yes, I
Okay.
do. And whereas for polygamy, I was saying that there's, a small percentage of people. I feel like here it's 50-50. It depends on the breakup. It depends on how long it's been. Things can be solved. Things can be, if you broke up because of violence, then don't ever go back. It's just, people can grow and change, but you will always, there'll always be that thing in the background where, you bring it out of each other, and it's not anybody's fault ever. But if there's violence, then protect yourself, protect your loved ones. Don't go back. But if it's for any other reason, even cheating, yeah, I say that you can get back together and make something beautiful and grow from it. I have friends who have broken up and been apart for 6 months, and now they are married and have 2 kids.
Oh, okay.
Same with my brother. He was on and off for a long time with his girlfriend, and now he's been back on for years, and they own a flat together, apartment in American. So yeah, it can happen. It can happen. It depends on the reason why you broke up.
Okay. Some women believe that all men cheat. Is that true? I know you mentioned it earlier.
Yeah. Well, I believe that if they have that belief, then they will only attract the men that cheat on them, which reinforces that belief.
Oh, I'm glad you said that.
Do you see what I mean?
Yeah. No, I know people really close to me that keep saying that over and over again. But yeah, who wants to believe that and surround themselves with that?
Because I mean, it's just, if it happens once, then then you think, oh, it's probably going to happen again. And you will probably end up with a guy who would never have cheated ever, but your behavior will push them to cheat. And again, I'm not saying that it's your fault, but I'm saying that because of the belief system and the way that you behave and, the way they feel and things like that, they'll probably end up being, well, if I'm being accused of cheating, I might as well cheat. And that's the worst case scenario. But so those women, that the fact that they believe it, I understand it. And it is a matter of changing the belief system. And also, it kind of also depends, what do you call cheating? Because some people will say, oh, he's talking to another woman, that's cheating. He's having a heart-to-heart with another woman, that's cheating. He's going for a coffee with a friend, that's cheating. And everything that I just said is not cheating. It's physical, emotional stuff. He was drunk at a bachelor party and kissed the stripper, that's cheating. A calm down type of thing. So no, not all men cheat, but some women will go looking for it, and they won't do it intentionally. They'll, it's like people who think they have bad luck. Anything that happens to them, they'll say, that's bad luck, that's bad luck. Change the thought process. So no, not all men cheat, but also maybe change your perspective on cheating a little bit. So
I want to go back to that one where if they're at the strip club and they're drunk and they kiss the stripper, is that cheating?
I wouldn't say it's cheating. I wouldn't let them off easy.
Okay.
I wouldn't let them off easy. But for me, cheating is a big connection that, it's physical, it's emotional, it's intense. There's a lot of stuff going on where there is a clear limit where you can stop. But I feel that if he's drunk with his friends, and as long as he didn't lie about going to the strip club and things like that, but on a dare, completely drunk, kisses, small kiss on the lips, it's not good, but it's not cheating. Like, he's just doing it because of peer pressure and just having fun and wants to show off. Don't let him off easy, but don't feel that he's cheated on you. It's giving yourself, a rough time for nothing. We've all, I mean, I feel that, I going to the club sometimes, I maybe kissed a friend because of just, the whole atmosphere and having fun. A kiss, if it's just a peck, drunken peck, then I wouldn't give it too much thought.
Okay. Gotcha. What films do you recommend for couples to watch together?
All sorts. I think you just go on Netflix and decide on the mood and just watch anything, because for my boyfriend and I, we love to watch Harry Potter.
Okay.
We just watch Harry Potter. But my brother and his partner, they watch horror films. I have a friend who only watches romantic comedies with her boyfriend. It's all sorts. I mean, I think it's not watching a film. I think it's spending time together, snuggling up under a duvet with a glass of wine or hot chocolate or something, and something that makes both of you happy. Like, if somebody hates horror films and the other one loves them, don't watch that.
Okay.
But if it's a film that you just can kind of like, both of you, then it's great.
Okay.
I think a tear jerker, you know, something that'll get a bit of tearing emotion, I think it always works for me. But it's the idea of just watching something together under a duvet is the best way.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. I like that you suggested all types of different genres. Oh, how long should a person wait before they date again if a partner passed away?
Well, so this is going back to the 10-year non-dating. So I wouldn't say 10 years, definitely not, but I would give it a good long while.
Mm-hmm.
And again, it kind of depends on how long were they together, how old are you now, have you got kids, do you want kids? Let's say a 30-year-old woman loses her husband of 5 years but has no kids. She's probably going to have that biological clock start ticking, things like that.
Yeah.
So I wouldn't give it, a precise amount of time, because of grief, but definitely grieve and then start dating. But maybe a year. Okay. No longer than a year, I'd say. But if it's less than a year, then that's okay.
Okay.
Like, I don't want anybody, men or women, feeling bad about dating too early.
Okay.
Because I know of a relationship where she was dying of breast cancer.
Oh.
And so they had talked about it. And so I think it was something like 6 months after she had passed, he was dating someone. But they had talked about it together. He was probably already on dating apps while she was dying. So I think, every situation is different. So give yourself that grieving time. But if you feel like you need to be in a relationship, you don't have to wait too long. And okay, I wouldn't get into a long-term relationship the next day type of thing, but don't be too hard on yourself.
Okay. Yeah, I'm glad to hear that, because like I mentioned earlier, some people wait like years and years, and some of them, their partner did pass away and they still refuse to date for like decades. So I'm glad you said it's okay to date again.
It is okay to date. And I mean, if you had a loving relationship with your partner, would your partner want you to be unhappy? I mean, there are some people who are happy, perfectly happy, not dating. They feel that they've had the love of their lives. They are happy doing something else, and that's genuine. And I mean, fine. Yeah. But if it isn't genuine, then you owe yourself to be happy. And you were, honoring their memory. But, when it's been a year or two, I think that's a way enough, really.
Okay. How could people in their 60s and older find love?
Well, I feel like 60 is so young. When I was a kid, 60 seemed, it was my grandparents' age. Yeah. But now I know so many people who are in their 60s who are really dynamic. My father-in-law is in his 70s and he's on Tinder and he's meeting people.
I know. My uncle too. My uncle's like, all these younger women try to talk to him, like my age.
Well, I mean, they're great, Alison. But it's so there are dating apps. In France, we have specific dating app for over 55. Okay. So my boyfriend's father is on both apps, Tinder and that app. And I'm sure there are some in the States where
you know what that older one is called?
It's in French. It's called Disons demain, which means let's say tomorrow. Okay. So I don't know that translates very well. But there are apps definitely out there. But I feel like if you live in a big town or a city or something, then just, go out. There are so many mixes. There are so many things to make things happen. And like 60, it is so young nowadays. I have my old boss. She's, I think, 66 or 67. She's dating left, right, and center. So I feel like people who ask that question are probably people in their 60s or concerned about family members in their 60s. But as soon as you think, okay, I'm going to put myself out there are so many people out there. It is just like when you were 30. It is very easy. So apps, going out, there's, events, dating events, blind dating, things like that. Easy.
Okay. All right.
And I'll say this, Spicy, is that I feel like people in their 60s will probably know what they want more than people in their 30s.
True.
So it'll probably be easier
Okay.
for them to meet someone who's on the same wavelength. Whereas for people in their 30s, you've still got that, I want to chill, I want to take my time. Whereas people in their 60s, they're like, no, I've lived, I know what I want, let's get to it. And so power to you.
Yeah, and I see people at church too, they get married too. So I guess, I guess even at the age you can still find love, is what you're saying.
Yeah, absolutely. I feel that if you want to find love, you will find love. There are just different paths to get to it, but if you want to find love, then it's going to happen for you. If you're not finding love, it's because you've got some blockages, and we can take those away quite easily. But it'll happen for sure.
Yeah, we'd love to see how you take away those blocks through your coaching. How do you know if you're in love?
Oh, well, that's a beautiful question. Well, I think being in love is different at different stages of your life and at different stages of your relationship. But I guess the telltale sign is if you find yourself thinking about that person and wondering what they're doing, and if you're thinking about buying something or doing something and wondering how that's going to impact them, then it's a good sign to whether or not you're in love. And just having them in the back of your mind, not obsessively, because I feel it's just for teenagers to have obsessive love. But when, you've only got that to worry about. But if you just kind of, like for me, I was, buying clothes the other day. I was thinking, is he going to like these? And, I want to go to this restaurant. Does he want to, is he going to enjoy that? Things like that. It's just having them in mind, like as a constant is a good sign.
Okay. It sounds right to me. What can we do to put effort into dating?
Well, it depends on how you go by dating. So I love dating apps.
Okay.
So my first tip for dating apps is that have a good profile. So put some effort in your dating profile, i.e. have 2 or 3 good pictures of yourself without sunglasses, smiling.
Okay.
And just good pictures, and have friends take pictures of you. Like, this is a bit of an effort. And also, especially with Tinder, but you've got, Happen and Bumble and all sorts of dating apps. Have something in your profile. Have a good biography where you're just talking about yourself and what makes you you. Not what you are searching for, but just having a good dating profile. If you put that effort in, it's going to go a long way. And if dating apps are not for you, then same, when you go out, I would say go out and make sure that you feel good about the way you look. So don't put too much effort in, but do your hair, wear that nice top that you never do, wear those nice shoes that you never do. Just make sure you feel good about yourself. And then that'll, you'll feel good and people will be attracted to that. And that's the small effort. Don't wait for things to happen. Just put that good energy out there.
Okay. Sounds good. So I noticed there's a lot of shy men. So what can they do, or what advice do you have for them in approaching women?
Yeah. Yes, there are a lot of shy men, and usually these men are the nice guys that don't really understand why they can't find love. So same, if you're on dating apps, I'd say come up with some questions that you don't mind answering yourself and that you enjoy answering yourself. So for example, a bad question is, what is it that you do in life? What's your job? It's boring.
Yeah.
But if you ask, what do you do in your spare time? That person is going to want to talk about them. And then if they say, what about you? Then you can talk about stuff that you enjoy doing. And it's going to become more, organic and not, you can't really ask a question that, don't ask yes or no questions, and don't ask questions that, are one-worded answers, i.e., what's your sign, or how are you doing, things like that. Ask questions that need a lot of thoughts to answer and that you enjoy answering as well. So that's for dating apps. And in clubs, then I try doing the eye contact thing a few times before going up to women and just, talking to them out of the blue. Do that eye contact thing, see if she's responding and if she's smiling back, and then just go off and buy a drink.
And then you said buy her a drink afterward?
Yeah.
Okay. All right.
It's so easy. It's cliche, but the problem with the buying a drink approach is that men will do this without checking if the woman is interested. And that's so intrusive. It is so intrusive. But if you can, look at her and get her to smile at you, I once had, so I was in a relationship, so it didn't work. But I once had a guy who looked at me and I could feel him look at me. And then I looked at back and he kind of went, and it made me smile. It made me smile because he just did it in a way it was for me. And so then he came to talk to me and I said, listen, I'm in a relationship, and he took it fine. But if you want to break that ice and just be silly, it's a small thing, but it sets you apart from the other guys instead of just barging in.
That is funny. That was a good way to do it.
Yeah, exactly. I found that very, very inspired.
Right? That's a cute one. That's a different. I've never heard a guy do that before.
I've never seen it since, but I'm sure it works.
Yeah, that is funny. Do men ever ask to be in exclusive relationships, or is it just women?
No, men ask for it a lot.
Okay. Oh, okay.
Yeah, the reason that we don't hear about men asking for it is because women usually beat men to the punch type of thing. Okay. But there are a lot of men who want exclusive relationships. And again, I feel that if women only meet men who want open relationships and are not willing to commit, then they are not talking to the right men and they need to change their radar type of thing. But there are a lot of men who only want exclusive relationships. And usually when you meet these men, you don't even need to have the conversation. It is so obvious. But yeah, if you're only meeting men who want open relationships or who are not ready to commit, then if you are only meeting men who are like that, then you need to change your radar and change the place where you are meeting these men, because those men are a minority.
Okay, that's good to know.
Yeah, the men who want exclusivity and who want to commit and build, there are a lot out there, a lot.
Okay, that's good to know. So the winter time is lonely. How can we stop feeling lonely and depressed during this time?
Well, and if you're single, I wouldn't rush into a relationship just because you're just because you want to spend time with someone, because that's a surefire way of just getting into a bad relationship. So don't rush into something. But if it's feeling a bit lonely, then date. Definitely go on dates. But for this, I'd say find something that makes you feel good. So, for example, when I was single, I used to go out playing badminton a lot. And so I go less now because I have a partner and everything, and so we spend time together. But I would just go out and meet people and do something that gets me out of the house.
Okay.
A couple of times a week, and then once or twice a month I'd have a girls' night and we just watch a film, do our nails, things like that, and make sure that you're putting yourself out there and spending time with people and putting yourself in situations where you are meeting people, and so not feeling lonely.
Okay.
In a way so that when you are on your own, make that time count. Do stuff that you wouldn't do when there are other people around. Have a facial, eat a whole tub of ice cream. Like, cherish that time when you're on your own, so that you can do stuff that you wouldn't do around other people. And then just go out, find an activity. I've got a client who's in a book club, and so he's got his book club where he goes to, things like that. Do something that
Yeah,
Makes you
that
happy.
sounds fun. I've met some other girls that were doing a book club. I thought that sounded really interesting too.
Yeah, it's great. You meet people, and it's just, you read a book, and then you have this regular appointment when you're just drinking and eating and talking about a book. It's
Mhm.
fun. It is just good.
Yeah,
And you're
that sounds
meeting
fun.
people. It's nice.
I like all your different suggestions.
Thanks.
Yeah. So how does France view divorce? Is it frowned upon?
No, it's not frowned upon. It's not celebrated. It's not celebrated, but it is, you know, it's easy. You can get a divorce easily. There are no barriers to it. It's
Mhm.
just the French people frown upon people giving up too easily
Mm.
and, you know, rushing into marriage and so rushing into divorce. These people who marry after 6 months and divorce after a year, that's what we, as in the country,
Uh-huh.
frowns upon. But people who divorce after years of just, and it's not working out, then it's absolutely fine. And thank God that you can divorce and not stay in an unhappy relationship.
Mhm.
So, divorce because you rushed into a marriage, that's frowned upon. It's kind of like, well, sucks to be you. But divorce because, you're in a tough relationship and you don't feel like you rushed into it and you just can't get out of it any other way, then it's fine. I mean, it's good that it exists.
Okay. All right, that's good to know. Because like in the Philippines, you can't get divorced at all.
Wow.
Yeah. Yeah. I didn't realize that until I started this show. Yeah, yeah, in the
Wow.
Philippines, you still can't get divorced. Isn't it crazy?
That's crazy. I'm sure there are many countries where you can't get. I'm curious about places like China and Japan where you can't get. I'm sure that would be the similar. And
Mm. I know being stuck with the partner that you're just not happy with anymore, that's got to be
yeah,
horrible.
I mean, there is a balance where you can work through rough patches. Giving up too easily is I don't think is the solution ever. But if you are stuck in just pure unhappiness, then ugh, that
Yeah.
sounds dreadful.
Yeah,
Imagine
especially what if they're violent or something and you're stuck with them just
that.
because, yeah, that's horrible.
Imagine in these countries, cheating must be out. I mean, it must be insane.
Hmm. Yeah, and then I've asked some other people in different countries, like they can't even show public affection in public. Like you can't even kiss or
Oh,
hold hands. So like different countries have different ways of viewing divorce and breakups.
geez. Sorry. Oh wow. Yeah. Well, no, in France it's not like that. You can definitely. I mean, the French are romantic. It's love, and it's
Mm.
love is forever moving and things like that. So
I almost
no, no,
forgot about that till you mentioned that. That's true that France is associated with love.
yeah.
Oh, do you know why they associate it with love? Is it because of the language or?
Yeah, it's because of the language. So I know that internationally, love is associated, or France is associated with love. In Europe, Italy is also associated with love, and I think there are two reasons. One, the language. It's very romantic. It's Moliere's written language, and you've got these amazing poets that are French. So there's that,
Mm.
but
Mhm.
also there's French kissing and things like that. And I don't know
Oh,
why it's called French kissing, but because it's called French kissing, it's also associated to love and romance.
okay. Yeah, that makes sense. Now that you mentioned that, I do remember French kissing. So, what are the best dating sites in France? I think you kind of touched on them earlier.
Yeah. So there's the dating app for over 55-year-olds, but so there's Tinder, obviously.
Okay.
That's very good, and we've got Bumble that's quite good. But there's also so I know that it exists in England. I don't know about the States, but it's Adopte un mec in French, which is adopt or adopt a guy in English. And so I don't know that it's made it to the States yet, but these are good websites, and it's usually the websites where you can have several pictures and a good profile or description, and that don't overcharge the men because I feel that's unreasonable.
Right.
These are the good ones. You want to go to the website, to the apps where there are a lot of people on them.
Okay.
So you don't want to go on these,
New ones.
the new ones, which is a shame for the new ones, but you want to find single people, they are on the apps where everybody are.
Okay. What do you like most about your social media followers?
I love that they interact with me. They
Okay.
are not afraid to ask a question. And so they'll either put it in the comments for everyone to see and just have that conversation, which is great, or they'll come and talk to me in private and be open and vulnerable. And I love that because, one, I feel like I can help them, quite quickly if it's a simple problem. And two, it helps me grow and see, the huge variety of people and all the different, colors and ideas that make up this world. So I love that when they interact with me, and the fact that they do it a lot, I love it.
Okay. Okay, great. What are your thoughts on breakup parties?
I think they're amazing. I think that's such an American thing. Like, we would never do that in Europe.
Uh-huh.
But I feel because it's been happening for a few years in the States, it's gonna happen here. Kind
Okay.
of like baby showers and bridal showers. It started in the States and it's just now making its way to Europe because
Okay.
we're a bit. So I think they're great. I think they're great because I think there's a stigma around being single. And yes, I am a love and dating coach, but there is no shame in being single and celebrating getting out of a bad relationship,
Mhm.
making your new you and things like that. So I think they're amazing. I think it's such a fun concept of just let's have fun and reclaim manhood, womanhood, non-binaryhood, and things like that. I think they're fun. I've never been to one because we don't really have them here, but I watch American TV and followed American trends, and I think they're amazing. I think they're very fun.
Okay, great.
I wouldn't I'd make it about the person that you are set. I wouldn't make it about bashing the other person too much. I'd
Okay.
make it about celebrating yourself type of thing. A bit of bashing and moaning is fine, but not too much.
No, no, I get what you're saying, and some are specifically like that. They just want to celebrate and have a good time, like you're saying, which is a
Yeah,
great
exactly.
idea. Yeah, make
Any
them
excuse for
individual.
party.
Yeah, I think that's a great way to do it as well. Do you have any last words for an ex?
It depends on the ex. Um, Okay, well, I mean, I've been in this situation, in both situations, so I'll give you both. So, an ex that wouldn't leave me alone, I'd say I sent him a huge text, but in a nutshell, it was, I have fond memories of our relationship, but I don't have overall fond memories of you. Please, for both of our peace of mind, leave me alone.
That's a good one.
So, because he was just all, did not leave me alone, and so that worked. And for another relationship, I said, thanks for the good times. I'm sorry it didn't work out.
Okay.
And say, closure.
Okay. That sounds
You,
good.
you don't, I mean, and, again, there are cases where it's just you don't owe them anything in case of violence or, a huge amount of cheating. Cheating once can be forgiven, but if it's a lot, then there is a big problem there. These men or women, you don't owe them anything. But if it's just ending because it's not working, but overall it was nice, then you want to, for your own sake, you want to keep a good peace of mind and be at peace. So just don't be too aggressive. It's not good for you. Who cares
Okay.
what's good for them, but it's not good for you. So
Yeah, that
keep it
makes
cool.
sense. I like your advice on that and the feedback on that and how you dealt with those as well. Do you have any shout outs? Anyone that you'd like to say thank you or hi or anything or
Well, Ebony,
okay.
I don't know if she watches this channel,
Uh-huh.
but thanks because I really enjoyed this. And to anybody who's looking for love, my heart goes out to you. I hope our paths cross and that I can help you out. And shout out to my man who is probably, oh, he won't be sleeping, but he'll be watching a film right now. So
Okay.
shout out to him.
Okay, cool. Now where can we go to learn more about you or
So
to
my
book you?
so my Instagram is Alison Sarah Pym.
Okay.
Which, so Alison, Alison, Sarah, Sarah, Pim, Pym, all attached. You can find me easily on Instagram. I'm also on Twitter and Facebook and TikTok, but I'm most active on Instagram. And if they want to book with me, then there's a link in my profile where they can do that. There's a link to my calendar where they can just choose their dates, and they can say that, you know, they saw me through here, and I'll give them probably a little bit of a discount. I'll have to figure that out. Yeah, I'll figure that out and talk to you about it as soon as I've kind of thought about it. But yeah, so Instagram is my main platform. You know, they can find me on Facebook and everywhere, but Instagram is where I'm at most.
So is that handle the same for your TikTok?
Yeah, Alison Sarah Pym on TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn.
Okay.
I think that's it.
Okay, I know I'm in the same boat as you with all of our different social media sites.
Yeah, Alison Sarah Pym.
Okay, I think that's all the questions we have for you, and I just want to say thank you, and that was a really fun one, and I can't wait to see the yoga.
Yeah, I'll definitely, like, I feel called for it over like December. Maybe I'll see how the festivities go. But yeah, I'll definitely let you know as soon as that starts going.
Okay, and hopefully one day, hopefully our show will be able to visit you in France. That'd be amazing.
Yeah, I'll be able to visit you in California and have a bit of a
that'd
wonder.
be fun. We got to go and meet up and go hang out. That'd be fun, and grab Ebony.
Yes, absolutely.
All right, well, you have a nice day. Tell your man I said hi.
I will.
Okay.
And I don't know, but like I think Thanksgiving is coming up, so happy Thanksgiving.
Thank you. Happy Thanksgiving to you too.
Thanks. See you soon, Spicy.
All right, thank you, Alison. It was wonderful. Have a nice day.
Thanks. Bye.
Bye.
You too.
Thank you.